Right now, Polygon is absolutely flying, and its usage has exploded in what seems like an overnight event. This is leading many people to flood into Polygon Matic, and we've seen a proportional and somewhat astronomical rise in the value of Polygon. Meanwhile, we've also seen a similar appreciation, a huge rocket ride for Solana. And that's because these two blockchains are actually offering more functionality, more technology at a further stage than some of the most highly valued projects in the space, like Polkadot and Cardano, who are not actually live yet. Whereas you have Matic, Polygon, as well as Solana actually allowing for projects to have smart contract functionality, full decentralization, on-chain transactions, low cost, low fee, and high throughput swaps, etc. These are huge selling points that are responsible for a big rise in these assets' values. Now, looking at this tweet from Alex Svenevic, who's actually the CEO of Flashbots, who's an amazing miner extractable value project. We've talked about Flashbots before. He says, looks like 0x Polygon usage is exploding. And if we see on this chart, you can see here the Ethereum usage line, the amount of transactions going through the Ethereum blockchain. And here we see Polygon rising and then going absolutely vertical over the last few hours and days. As you can see now, we spiked up to the point where there are more transactions happening on Polygon than there are on L1 Ethereum. And it smells just like what happened with Binance Smart Chain. And we all know the story with what happened to old BNB after BSC took flight. This is the exact same growth pattern I'm seeing. And while I don't believe that Polygon will reach the size of a Binance or a BNB, I do believe that there's a narrative here that it should be maybe coming closer to the actual valuation that we're seeing for some smart contracts blockchains that don't even have live functionality yet. I mean, are they doing more than the tech that hasn't even launched yet? And look, I'm not throwing any shade at Cardano or Polkadot. I think they're both great projects. But what I'm saying to you right now is that I see a huge opportunity where you're seeing an undervaluing in projects like Solana and projects like Polygon. And I believe that that undervaluing is starting to end, and that this L1 race to see what the best layer 1 blockchains will be, well, it feels very 2017 again, with tons of these L1 competitors coming and gunning for Ethereum's crown. Meanwhile, old faithful Ethereum is going to continue growing and mooning just like I told you, but there's a huge opportunity in projects like Solana, Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, and of course, once they launch Polkadot and Cardano. But I do believe that that's what's happening right now is Solana and Polygon are finally getting noticed here for what they're actually doing, which is offering a ton of functionality. More good news for Polygon includes their $100 million DeFi support fund. This is where they're actually going to be giving the Polygon tokens, the underlying tokens, $100 million worth to developers bringing DeFi to Polygon. And of course, what's so attractive is that it's EVM compatible, meaning you can kind of copy and paste your applications from Ethereum to Polygon, and you have a very low transaction fee, a very low barrier to entry, a very high user experience, just like on Binance Smart Chain. And in a huge and big fundamental green flag here, we have news that Polygon has managed to attract Aave and $1 billion in liquidity from Aave's ecosystem over to QuickSwap and Polygon. That's right, you have $1 billion in lick moving to L2 on Polygon. Again, this is showing you that this is not just a short-term trend or a bunch of spam transactions here. This is a bunch of real liquidity, real growth of the Polygon ecosystem. And a big congrats over to Sandeep and the team over at Polygon. They're a partner of Superfarm. I know Sandeep pretty well over the years, and I think it's a big achievement to have attracted this much liquidity from such a blue chip as Aave. And this to me could be part of a bigger trend of big players moving to L2 and setting up shop on Polygon. And over the last few days, we've seen an absolute explosion of the QuickSwap token. As you can see, it was trading at like $140 just a few days ago, and now it peaked up here at over $900, almost $1,000. That's like a 7x or something like that in just a few hours, it feels like. I tweeted about it here in the $200 range because I realized that this was picking up. I saw the explosion of usage on Polygon, and I recognized that this QuickSwap project, being essentially the pancake swap of Polygon, or the Uniswap of Polygon to be more accurate, well, this is probably going to be the main DEX of the L2 Polygon, so it should probably have the pancake effect that we saw with the growth of BNB. As BNB grows, the sort of main DEX of that network should grow proportionally. And that's what we're going to talk about with Solana in just a second. Now, I do want to mention that I've been in talks with the team of QuickSwap. I've been really impressed by what they're doing, especially over the last few days with their growth and development. I may be looking into being a permanent collaborator with QuickSwap and helping them grow, because I think this piece of technology might be a very useful and fundamental one for the growth of the Polygon ecosystem. So I'll release more information on that as it comes out. What would any video on hot altcoins or L1s be without a touch on Solana? Now, Solana, of course, is the ecosystem created by SBF Alameda over there at FTX, one of the most brilliant minds in the entire space, and probably one of the most underrated entrepreneurs in the space. Solana has just been on an absolute tear since the beginning of the year, growing from just a couple of bucks, peaking up here to about $46, $47. And this chart looks absolutely fantastic. I mean, look at it. The dips are just not even worth mentioning. Higher lows and higher highs. And it looks like this thing is still ready to rip. It does feel like it still has a big parabolic move ahead of it. The reason why I say that is looking at Solana at $12 billion, Solana is arguably the best viable alternative to Ethereum besides Binance Smart Chain. And so at $12 billion, now looking at it at rank 15, there's a narrative here that it's doing more than Cardano is today, that it's doing more than Polkadot is today, and maybe it should be worth as much as those, especially with as robust of an ecosystem as it has. Now, I personally missed the boat on Solana, but I don't need to hold the token to know that this thing has absolute jetpacks on, and I believe that there's a huge narrative for this thing continuing to grow. Of course, it did have a huge growth phase. Maybe there will be some pullbacks here, but I think Solana is one of those that you can start averaging into. Personally, I believe that averaging into this one will have some huge growth effects in the future because it's got so much going on under the hood. And one of those things is Raydium. Raydium is essentially just like QuickSwap, but even more so, a next level liquidity, frictionless yield, light speed swap platform. Essentially, Raydium is everything that is Uniswap. It is also a yield generator. There is a lot going on here. It says an avenue for the evolution of DeFi. And so this one is a definite tip of the spear project on Solana. So just like I see a huge growth of QuickSwap in relation to Matic, Polygon, I see another huge growth of Raydium in relationship to Solana. And what would any L1 be without its own launchpad? We see Solstarter here is the first IDO platform for Solana, empowering launchpad projects to raise liquidity in a fair and decentralized manner. Again, this is a very similar copy and paste strategy to Polkastarter, which has been proven very effective. And so you see here an ecosystem on Solana that is set up and ready to rip, letting new projects get liquidity, get funding, have low fee, high user experience environments. And I just think there's a lot going on here, and I think you should be aware of it. So there you have it, my breakdown of what's going on with 0x Polygon as well as Solana and some projects within their ecosystems like QuickSwap, which, like I said, I might be a permanent collaborator of that project, as well as Raydium and Solstarter over there in the Solana ecosystem. There is a ton of narrative, a ton of vibes there. I'm going to be doing much more coverage of Solana in the future, but these are the projects that arguably are way undervalued when you're looking at a Cardano, when you're looking at a Polkadot, when you're seeing obviously the future, the excitement of those innovations. That's unquestionable. But you have to, at a certain point, value tech that's been delivered and is working today. And that's where you see the narrative for a Polygon and a Solana truly take flight. But I'm curious, what do you guys think? Am I crazy for thinking that the valuations for Polygon and Solana could start to at least come to parity with, or start to give a run for their money to the Cardanos and the Polkadots of the world? Let me know in the comment section below what you think about that. Of course, I am long-term very bullish on Polkadot, and I think that they will be an absolute king coin in the future with all of their tech and the substrate framework that it brings to the market. But to be honest, it's just not here yet. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think that I'm crazy here, or do you think that I'm onto something, thinking that these particular projects still have some room to grow, to catch up to their competitors that have yet to launch? As always, if you guys enjoyed this, if you got some value out of it, go ahead, destroy that like button, give me a thumbs up. It's a free and easy way to support the channel. And if you guys want more content like this, we're bringing you the best information in the space each and every day. And all you have to do is subscribe and put that bell notification on, and you'll be made aware whenever I put out new videos. As always, you can find me at Elio Trades on Telegram or Twitter. You're definitely going to want to follow me on Twitter, as I tweeted about QuickSwap when it was just about $200. So you could have been early on this wave if you were following me on Twitter. Again, I thank you all so much for watching. Remember, each and every comment on this video is entered to win your very own hardware wallet. My name's Elio Trades, and I'll see you very soon on the next episode.